This is an episode that could have been an email. So, your marital status does define you, ladies. Okay? And then Hanson, the guy that owns the mill, keeps seeing this, and he's like, damn, girl can throw it back. Oh, look, it's Widow Snyder.
Widow Snyder?
It sounds like
Whittle.
Widow
Snyder.
Widow Snyder. What's up, bonnet babes and boys? Welcome to Little House Big Opinions, where we delve into the drama, tragedy, and heartfelt moments of a show that was a pillar of our childhood. So buckle up, because it's about to be a wild ride.
You've probably heard of the show, Little House on the Prairie. We grew up being told the tale was wholesome, cozy, and oh so sweet. But I swear there's something tragic in like half of all the scenes.
I mean, seriously, did the writers run out of themes?
They said it's just some drama, but I think it sparked our trauma.
We're both totally fine now, though.
So now we're rewatching the show and talking about it as we go. This is Little House Big Opinions. I guess we'll see how this goes.
Welcome back to another episode of Little House
Big Opinions.
This is our very first Prairie short.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing a shorter episode for a episode.
A shorter podcast episode.
For a lighter episode of Little House on the Prairie.
So, if you are not in the mood for something heavy or traumatic,
this is a good episode.
You can listen to a Prairie short.
Yeah, or listen to a Prairie short. Probably not. Because, honestly, it feels like this is an episode that could have been an email. Yeah. Kind of. It drags a little bit.
It does. But there are some good, fun moments.
There are some moments, yeah. At least it's not traumatizing.
Yes.
This is an episode that I feel like I would have been fine to watch as a kid.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
However,
I probably would have missed some stuff, but
yeah. I'll save my big opinion for the end.
So, let's get into the episode.
Lore.
Oh, lore. Right. That's my job. Okay, so Little House lore. Okay, Victor French is the actor that plays Mr. Edwards.
Arguably one of the best.
Yes. He's like a classic in the show. Yeah. He's just such a
He's kind of the comic relief
character, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Besides Carrie.
Yeah, definitely.
But
I feel like they're similar.
They are, a little bit. So Victor French originally guest starred on Bonanza, which Michael Landon had a main role in. So this is where they first worked together, and then I'm assuming Michael Landon brought Victor French on for Little House on the Prairie, and this is a recurring character. We will see Mr. Edwards several times. And then they worked together on Highway to Heaven later on. They were very close, had a close bond, liked collaborating together, clearly trusted each other's artistic vision. So there's a
Little House lore.
Which leads us right into the opening scene because...
Yes.
So my husband says, I have seen Bonanza, but not the way I've seen Prairie.
Yeah.
So he has seen a lot more Bonanza episodes than I have, and he said that the opening scene of this episode is like a copy and paste from a scene from Bonanza. So, reusing material here, Michael Landon. So, this episode opens up with Pa in Mankato.
Yes. Which is, I think, the first time that we get Mankato in an episode, right? Or do they go to Mankato earlier?
I think you're right.
Yeah. So Mankato is a recurring town.
Yes.
That's mentioned, visited often throughout the show.
Yes.
Kind of like the closest big town.
It's Mankato, right? It's not Sleepy Eye this time.
Yeah, I think it's Mankato.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
We're just going to say Mankato.
Yeah.
Okay. So
and his name is Isaiah.
Yes.
His first name is Isaiah. I don't think I ever knew that. I think I just always knew him as Mr. Edwards.
Yeah, pretty much. Because Edward is kind of a first name.
Yeah.
So anyways. And like even when they, obviously not everyone calls him Mr. Edwards, but I think Charles calls him Edwards.
Yeah.
So anyways, Charles is in Mankato selling some grain or something.
Some prairie good.
Doing something in Mankato. And he hears a commotion.
Yes.
Yeah. Here's a commotion, so he goes into the local saloon, and who does he see?
Old Isaiah
Edwards. And he is holding a knife, is he?
I think so.
Yeah. He's worked up. He is drunk.
Standing on the staircase and, like, making a commotion, and everybody in the saloon is, like, watching him.
It's like, what the hell, bro?
Yeah. And Pa is, like, trying to get through to him, and people are like, no, you don't want to mess with him. He's crazy.
And he's like, trust me. So he gets up there. It's like, Isaiah, it's me. So he kind of relaxes. And then does he just pass out?
No, I think
he leads him out. He leads him out. Yeah.
He takes him to the water.
Yes.
And then
dunks
him his head
several times.
And he's immediately sober.
Yes, that's
all
you need. It's just a good old dunking. So he dunks him, and then he convinces him to come back to Walnut Grove with him.
Because Edwards kind of doesn't have anything that he's doing, which I've always wondered how he has money. Like, what does he do? Does he just gamble?
Yeah, I mean, I think he probably, like, works odd
kind
jobs,
of a
maybe.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah, he's just kind of a vagabond.
A drifter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he goes back to Walnut Grove. The girls are very excited to see him. Yes. Even Carolyn is pleased to see him there. Yeah. He stays in the Ingalls barn in their loft, and he starts working at the mill with Charles. And this is, at some point, Carolyn gets it in her head that he needs a wife.
Yes, she wants to do some matchmaking.
Yes, so she decides that she's going to set him up with, they constantly call this woman the Widow Snyder. Her name is Grace Snyder, and I think they refer to her maybe a couple times as Grace, but Carolyn calls her the Widow Snyder, like, at least 5 times.
Yeah.
So, if your marital status does define you, ladies, okay?
And what better way, like, I want to know if they would call her that to her face.
So anyways, she decides that she's going to do this. Pa is like, you be careful with your meddling. And she's like, it's fine. It's fine. So she sets about doing this. She tries to get them to have dinner together, to come for dinner or something like that. But there's some conflicts along the way.
Grace is apprehensive because while Edwards is at the mill, she happens to be working at the post office right across the street, and she's watching him, and she sees him go over to, like, the well or the water source there, and he gets out a jug, which is like a moonshine jug.
And he is excited because he does think it's just some moonshine sitting there. Yeah. But he opens it up, realizes it's just water, but he's like, hey, I could use that. So he takes a big old swig of water. And then he just leaves the jug there and continues to drink out of it. And she sees him doing this.
We love a sustainable king.
Yes. And Grace sees this, so she's kind of judging. But then at some point, she goes over and realizes it's just water. And she starts...
Because he asks her if she wants some.
Right. And so she takes a swig too. And then Hanson, the guy that owns the mill, keeps seeing this. And he's like, damn, girl can throw it back.
But he doesn't care that his employee is drinking on the job.
No,
he's just like...
He's more concerned that a lady is drinking than his employee. So, so we have all of this going on, and Edward starts to kind of fall for Grace. Yes. So he sets about wooing her. So he's a little rough around the edges. She's a little hesitant. So he has a plan. Do you want to tell them his strategy?
Yes. So this is my favorite part of the episode. He enlists Laura because you'll kind of learn that Laura is kind of like his favorite of the children. I think it's kind of because Laura is just kind of rough and tumble around the edges. Mary is a little bit more like prim and proper, and Carrie's just little. But Laura is his favorite. So he asks Laura to help him write a letter as if it is from another female friend.
But she doesn't write the letter, right? There's nothing on it. All he needs her to do is address the letter.
To him.
And she's confused. She's like, why do you? And he's like, why are you asking so many questions?
And one of the first things that Edwards does when he gets his paycheck from Hanson is get Laura a bottle of the lemon verbena perfume that Miss Beadle wears that Laura likes so much.
So he gets Laura to put a paper in an envelope and write the address so that he can mail the letter to himself. I feel like we kind of just gloss over Mr. Edwards can't write.
Yeah.
Nor do we know if he can read. And I don't know if this ever comes up at a later point.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, we kind of gloss over that part. So
And then she sprays some of her perfume.
sprays her perfume. And then he tracks down a post
Yeah.
wagon
Yes.
and gets them to mail the letter, and they're like, "Bro, you're like right next to Walnut Grove. Why don't you
Are you
like
sure you want to send this?
what are you doing?" And he's like, "Just do what I ask you to do."
And then once he gives it to them, he walks off singing Old Dan Tucker.
He sings Old Dan Tucker. We should have done a count for this.
We should have.
Like so many times.
Yes.
In this, I feel like we need to play it at some point in case you aren't watching, so that you can know.
When I got all of the books the other day, I was just flipping through the first one, and one of the first things that I landed on was Pa fiddling, and Mr. Edwards was there singing Old Dan Tucker. So it is true to the books.
It's accurate.
Which is exciting for me.
Textually accurate. Yeah. So he sings this song so many times. Every time he's happy. Like every time he's excited or happy. So it works. Right? Yeah. Kind of genius.
Yeah. So since she is the postmaster, which I feel like is kind of
innovative.
Like, well, for him, but I was going to say.
No, that's what I meant.
For
a
woman.
Like, yes, for the times.
Yes.
Yes.
What's the right word for that?
I mean, impressive, and that doesn't feel...
I was thinking, like, edgy.
Yeah, a little edgy. For...
Yeah. Ahead of the times, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know if I was, like, a typically...
yeah, I guess because women were typically more
teachers,
educated.
Yeah.
Because the men would
work
in the fields.
Work in the fields.
But anyways, so she gets the letter and says that she has mail for him. He gets it.
Smells it.
Yes. Reads it on the porch.
And does a really stellar acting job.
He does.
Here.
He, like, does some little giggles.
A little, a little... So.
Does he, like, he
smells it some and
so that he gets a whiff of the perfume and so that she can smell it?
So she's watching. She's a little jelly. So then he gets her to come to dinner at the Ingalls.
Yes.
They are talking, they're vibing, and then I think he takes her fishing. And this is where she realizes that he had sent the letter to himself.
Yes. And it also comes out that he is not a man of God.
Yes.
He believes in God, but he does not think it's necessary to go to church.
Yes. So, he
see you, Mr. Edwards.
He does have
I like your style.
More reasoning than just that.
Yes.
So he says, like, let's do this again. And he's like, Sunday. And she's like, not Sunday.
Gotta go to church on Sunday.
And he's like, well, you can just meet me after. And she's like, well, don't you want to go to church together? And he's like, nope, I do not go to church. So she's like, we cannot be together. So Charles and Carolyn catch wind of this. So Carolyn decides to insert herself into the situation.
Yeah.
And have a talk with Mr. Edwards.
Yeah.
I think Charles talks to him first.
Yeah. I think that she sends Charles out. And
right.
Mr. Edwards is, like, packing. He didn't really have anything. But he's, like, saying that he's going to leave in the morning. And Pa kind of asks him questions. And Edwards ends up telling him why he does not go to church. And it is very sad. So his wife and daughter died from a sickness while he was away working.
Yes. So he kind of feels responsible. He's feeling guilt over this. And so he says, like, ever since then, he just has not felt the same about God and has not wanted to go to church. So Charles is just kind of like, okay, I get it. And leaves it at that. But then Carolyn goes and talks to him and is like, is this really enough for you? Are you gonna just not believe in anything for the rest of your life?
Wallow forever.
And she's also like, don't you want grace? So,
and he's like, you know what?
I do.
I sure do.
So the next morning we see him in church. He comes in a little late.
So of course everybody does
and he starts singing the hymn with the rest of them and standing next to Grace and
she lights up.
She is elated
when she sees him there.
Yeah. So and that's where this episode ends. So pretty overall light episode. And Grace is also a recurring character, so we will see their continued journey, but yeah.
She does not remain a widow much longer.
No. Okay, so big opinion on this episode?
I was going to say that it is a little odd that Mr. Edwards is so attached to the Ingalls children. But I think it's probably just the fact that he lost his family. So I think that Laura... I think he says in this episode, maybe, that Laura reminds him.
Oh, yeah, because we forgot to mention in this episode, Laura
they're sick.
Is slightly sick with a case of tonsillitis. I don't know.
Something.
Her tonsils are acting up. And he's, like, overly concerned, kind of freaks out. And we may have, like, totally butchered the order in which this episode happens, because we did watch it, but we sometimes watch it twice, even.
Yeah.
And we, like, take really detailed notes, but since we weren't going to do that for this episode, we didn't take as good of notes. Yeah. So, but you get the gist. There
was nothing that was super important that was missed.
I think my big opinion is probably that we should stop referring to Grace as
the Widow Snyder.
The Widow Snyder. Yeah. Don't think that's an appropriate... I mean, like, what if we just referred to Carolyn as wife of Charles? Like...
Yeah.
She wouldn't like that. So, yeah.
That's our episode for today. Short and sweet. And
like
hopefully... You're not that short.
I know. I look really short sitting next to you.
Well, I guess are these chairs the same?
I just have a really short torso. I have long legs and a short torso. So I'm actually...
She's really 6 feet tall.
Yeah. I'm actually not that much shorter than Riley.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm just slouching. I'm a sloucher. Dirty old sloucher.
Anyways, that's the episode for today. Next time, we will be discussing one that I think out of the episodes that we've watched so far is my favorite. And it is...
The Love of Johnny Johnson.
Johnny Johnson. And I have a quote to leave you with.
To kind of describe, in this episode, Laura has her first love, her first crush, but Ma describes it this way.
These loves are like a heat rash, quickly come and quickly gone. So next time, look forward to having a heat rash. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Thanks for joining this week of Prairie Drama. We unpacked a little trauma. This is Little House, big opinions. See you next week for more wild decisions.